Welcome Dr. Irmi Huber to the stage. Irmi? I've introduced her a couple of times, but Dr. Irmi Huber has been innovating in longevity for quite some time, and so she is here to share with us her business, neotes.
So, yeah, thank you for that so much for having me. You know, we met in Athens, yes, living just around the corner, yes, and we started already a little bit to understand about longevity. So here, neotes is the ancient Greek word for usefulness. So we have another company, again, with an ancient Greek name. We just had it, I think. So, and you see here the goddess of Clotho. That is the goddess in ancient Greek mythology who spins the life thread. So, you do? Okay. What is longevity? You see here 65. That stands for 65 years. And the average, 65 healthy years as an average of a healthy phase of a normal European citizen. In comparison to 80 years, that is the life expectancy you have in Europe, and you see there is a difference of 15 years of most of the time pretty unpleasant 15 years. And if you look at this chart, you see here the man 65 to 75, and you have here almost 20% only who have zero disease or only one disease. And you look here at this bar, the red bar, 25% of the normal 65 and year older man has already 5 diseases or more. Can you imagine how you live with this? So you see neotes is not only an investment case. What I really would like to communicate to you right now, it's, hi, wake up. That's something what is dealing with you personal. There's now recent research which brought us what we right now call longevity. Next slide, please. So, Julie called us, you know, at least we need to target 1 billion people on the planet. We have a real demographic shift. You see here, 60 years and older, in the 1980, we talk about not even a billion. 2017, almost a billion, and 2050, it's already doubled. So we have a real demographic shift. And what does it mean? You know, we had seen a lot of energy companies in the energy area. So aging is disruptive. In healthcare, generally for the GNP, certainly for state and private retirement systems, and also for us all personally in our society. So what will we have? We have definitely reshaped structure within the families and generations, and we have definitely also the necessity of long life learning. So here is, I would like to illustrate a little bit where we stand right now. So longevity is going to become a mega trend. It's becoming. So what you see here is the total global healthcare market. Here's a traditional one with 12.5 trillion. You have here the secondary healthcare market. That's all what you can buy over the counter. It's about fitness, wellness, and so on. And here you have the longevity market right now with 30 billion. Small. But why is this bubble here? Because longevity is all about rejuvenation, rejuvenation, and also about healthy aging. What we have right now in medicine, as you all know, you go to the doctor when you are really sick. You don't go to the doctor to stay healthy most of the cases. Preventive medicine in the US is an out-of-pocket market, and there's almost no awareness for it. In the German-speaking countries, we have some preventive measurements and also diagnostic, which is paid by the health insurance. And believe it, most of the time, it's not used by the members of our health system. So, and here, I think longevity is so important because it brings a paradigm shift to our healthcare system and also to our society. If we stay sick, the 65-year-old, if they are so sick like they are right now, our healthcare system will implode. It won't be affordable anymore. So there must be something, there must be a change. And that is what longevity is all about. And that is also what neotes is all about. We are not only an investment case. Here you see what is so far invested in longevity. We talk about 24 billion. I know that in energy, for example, all the companies we have seen this yesterday and this morning, they have 10 and 100 times more how you ever see the sector. I hope that here will go really more investment in it. It's super important. I know KSA and the Arabic world, you are really strong, you build up neon, so there is already some awareness growing. So here, now, back to the biology, what you have learned at school. So you see here, if you remember, that it's a double helix, that is the DNA, that is like a hard disk, you can't change. Then there is something, this part, it's wrapped around proteins, and these proteins have a little modification. And this is called epigenetics. Epigenetics is like a switch on your DNA and is responsible for that what is built in your body or not. Why do I say longevity is a mindset and it's a decision? Because, as you can see here, epigenetics is influenced by lifestyle. How you exercise, how you eat, when you eat, about your social mentality, about your spiritual mentality. That means if you have, for any reason, genes which determine you that you have a risk for cardiovascular disease, whatever. Here, 70% you can change it. Only 30% is caused by your genes. If I look around, I think most of you are in the age where you already thought about that life might be endless at a certain point. Not anymore endless at a certain point. So what does it mean? We all would like to have a healthy, fulfilling life. And what does it mean now? Now, a little bit with the focus of longevity. It's about rejuvenation. And here's where the recent research comes in. We can measure our biological age. That means, how old are we really? And this makes not only, it gives you a focus on your personal biological age, but it also helps you to understand if you intervene with your biological age. If you do things which makes you younger again, everything about rejuvenation, you can measure it with a test, which I will explain to you later. What is longevity all about, too? Improvement of these factors, which are not so good by aging. So we have a lot of parameters, like very important factors in your cell division. They just decline. So it's pretty crazy medical terms, like NAD, nicotine adenine dinucleotide, or like alpha ketoglutarate, AKG. So, but there are many more, and you have the chance to replace them. I tell you within the next slides how. Then you have the balance. That's all about, you know, if everybody sitting here is driven probably to let grow his business or her business, we can't eliminate stress out of our life. But what we can do is, we can try to deal better with it. And I think everything about, whether it's yoga, whether it's walking through the forest, everybody will find something to deal better with his stress. And that is very important. So, as you know, physicians, we are all about process. We always think in a process, and we are also very much determined by microorganization. So what is important right now is get informed. I think that you are sitting here, thank you. It's also very good for you and for your information how you can do it. Longevity, it's all about testing. For example, here this test your biological age. Second, about scoring and tracking. So I use, for example, here's the Aura ring. I think some of you will have it. You can have the Apple Watch, the Samsung Watch, whatever, but do it. It's very important. What can you do? What can you measure? Your sleep. Sleep is very important for our health. You need 1 hour of deep sleep, 2 hours of REM sleep. You can measure it very easily with these variables. And if you don't have it, then try to improve it, that you have it. You can do it. I can tell you also how. Resting pulse, very easy. Here's the pulse you can feel. The variables can also measure. If you have a high resting pulse, then you are stressed. And there's another thing, it's called heart rate variability. It's also measured by it. So if your heart, you always think it's going block, 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 totally regular. It's not true. There is a millisecond, and it's not regular. And this millisecond is very important that you have this irregularity. If you don't have it anymore, then you are going to die. And that you can measure, and the higher this variance is, the less stressed you are. Also if my heart rate variability goes down to 10, what happens sometimes, then I need to go to bed at 10 o'clock and go to the sauna, do a lot of sport, and have maybe a nice evening with a friend and not drinking too much alcohol. Longevity index. You know, in medicine, as an entrepreneur, I'm number-driven, and as a medical doctor, I'm science-driven. So what we do is, nobody here does real clinical studies in this area right now. Almost nobody, in Europe at least. So what we do is, we would like to take, we are going to take the data of our customers in an anonymous way, if they share it with us, of course, but most do, because they would like to know more about them. And then we put the data of your wearable, about the test results, whatever we test, I will explain a bit later. And we build something that you have a specific recommendation how to reach your personal longevity. You see already, it's a bit complex. So what we offer, and what is, in my opinion, also very necessary in this field, you need some recommendation. Yeah? And then you find your personal longevity. So now there are now good or helpful information and also a little bit more hard information. It's all about lifestyle. So it's not only sitting on the sofa and taking a pill. And if you have done this, then you start again. You can, whatever you improve, you can measure. And that is why I think it's so important that we have now, because of the recent research, really is the possibility to measure our longevity and how young we are really. So that is the test. You have, I think here are flyers all around. You have a discount link. If anybody would like to do it, I do it with you. I have 10% tests with me. We can also do it during dinner or after dinner, whatever. Also, I have it here with me. Yeah. What can you measure? I think that's very interesting. Also, first of all, chronological age. This is what is in your passport. And the biological age is, how old are you really? What is this? An aggregation of what you see here. It's lifestyle. How good is your fitness? How good is your nutrition? We talk about, we can analyze your epigenetic cancer risk, the risk of type 2 diabetes, of a coronary heart disease. We also can tell you about your smoking stage, and not only how much you smoked by yourself, also maybe passive smoking or damage by any other toxic substances. It's, and you have the all-over mortality risk. So here's a question always get raised. Do I really want to know this? Yeah? And that is, I think, I have here a very clear answer. And that is early detection. With this test, it's not like going to the doctor when you're sick and seeing, you have a very increased GOT. That means you probably drank too much alcohol and you have a fat liver. There is no change possible anymore. You have it. Here, if you have these risks, you can still change it. Yeah? And of course, it's only, we're talking about an epigenetic likelihood. So what do we really measure? So it's very simple. We have longitudinal data, like from the Framingham study. Also the whole city of Framingham, since, I don't know, 40 years, got blood drawn every year. And then you have a case like a 35-year-old who died of a heart attack with 60 years. And the patterns of the switches, which I explained you before, also the epigenetic patterns, got measured with the 35-year-old, and they are look-alike in the same way with every 35-year-old who got a heart attack and died with 60. And that is what we do. We correlate in a biomedical model this epigenetic patterns with certain diseases. That means if you know it with 35 that you have a risk for a heart attack, then you have another 25 years you really to change it, to do more, to exercise more, to change your lifestyle, to eat better, whatever. And I think that is really a chance for our life, and I think also a chance for the society. Yeah, and here, I always been asked, why is sport and calorie restriction, that means having hunger, why is it so important? Yeah, so the simple answer is, the repair mechanisms in your body get started because it's like a stress for your body. And the complicated medical response is, okay, it's all about your immune system get enhanced, you get more antioxidants to scavenge all the free radicals, which are also responsible for inflammation. And by the way, aging is nothing else than chronic inflammation. Mitochondria, that are the power plants in your cells. And aging is all about a dysfunction of mitochondria. So your cells don't work that much and that well anymore. So our body is all about cell divisions, billions and trillions of cell divisions every day. And then sirtuins, that is also now a very fashionable word. It's talking about sirt food. Yeah, you need to eat a lot of green stuff and also bitter stuff like broccoli or chicorée, and these sirtuins are also initiating the repair mechanism of your cells. So now I really confuse you. Also here, that is a good thing what you can do sitting on the sofa and eating your pill. That is all about micronutrition, supplements, and the way you do it. You do a test, you get a recommendation which of the supplements are good. I can tell you two are always important if you're over 40 because they are vital compounds and they decline by aging. So one is the alpha-ketoglutarate, the other one is the NMN. I eat it 1 month, the alpha-ketoglutarate, the other month NMN, so I always change, and then I always mix or I combine it with 2-3 of other supplements.
What is the normal name for those?
There's no normal name. It's really like AKJ and NMN, yeah? And here with us, with our company Neotes, you get it in a purified form, and you get it with a sufficient dosage. Because the problem is, if you go on Amazon and check for NMN, you might get much cheaper product, but they have only 1/10 of the content that you should have for a daily consumption.
Can we have a discount?
Of course.
Yeah, no,
You get a
serious.
discount.
A discount? No, for everybody. Yeah.
You get a discount. You get a, here you have a discount link on our flyer, and I organize for everybody.
Yes.
You get a mail with a discount for all the supplements. No
Perfect.
problem.
Perfect.
So, also, we are talking here about measuring, adjusting, rejuvenation, but it's flanking, yeah? Flanking measurement. Because it's also very important to change your lifestyle if you're not good at this. And everybody can probably estimate it, and otherwise our BioAge test tells us. So, a little bit about Neotes. It's a startup. So, we are one of the typical startups set up during the pandemic when nobody was traveling and we had a bit more time to do so. I lived in the US in Florida. Yeah, I think a lot of people here in Florida are around, between 2015 and 2020. And I met my friends, and I was always wondering, why do they eat always 20 pills for breakfast? And why they are really looking quite good. And of course, in Florida, we know that plastic surgery is pretty much common, but also there was a lot of energy. And so I looked at it, and then there came a study, it's called TRIM study, and they first published that 10 male got rejuvenated by 8 years by taking a couple of things for 6 months. And I thought, oh, that is interesting. So we founded Neotes at the end of 2020. We are 4 founders. We have an advisory board. We have already raised about 4.5 million euros. We have last year, that is what we really started, we had now 12,000 customers and we made 1 million revenue. We have 3 pillars, I explain with the next chart, and we would like to scale up within the next 2-3 days, and I tell you how. So that's about the founders. So Solveig, she was 15 years with Pfizer, and she is doing all our products. Here we have the crazy digital officer, yeah, it's the next generation, he's 35 years old, and he knows exactly how to do e-commerce. We have our science, you see here really representing different generations. So Axel is 67, and he had 2 lives, 20 years of life science research, and 20 years he was the partner of TVM, so this life science venture in one of the biggest in Germany for a certain time, I think almost 20 years. And me, you know, I'm medical doctor, entrepreneur. I did a lot of provider business. That means ambulatory care and hospital reorganization. And I had already my first startup that was a refractive laser chain, 95. I think startup was not even known as a word. So what do we do right now to understand a little bit our business? Only talking about longevity doesn't make money. In most of the cases. So what we do is, we do B2C with our store, with tests, with our supplements, and that is classic e-commerce. But the difference is, first, longevity is a market which is starting in Europe. It's not like in the US. So, and that means the awareness is increasing, and with the increasing awareness, we also can, of course, sell better our products. If we got a customer then this customer has a real high reselling quote. So 40% of our customers come again and order. And the lifetime value, the customer lifetime value is right now 900 euros. That is for an e-commerce business quite good. The second sales strategy is B2B. So we go also to doctors' networks and longevity clinics. It's a small, because it's not so easy scalable as e-commerce. And the third one, that is what we would like to build up, because pharmaceutical industry, which classically does all the clinical studies, is not interested in this sector. They don't make money with supplements. Yeah, but I think we need to know more about the effect of longevity, whether we exercise, we eat right, or we take the supplements. And that is, if you and the future customers are sharing our data, then we can also see how age intervention really works on in medical terms, on an evidence-based form. So here, that are my investors, and I thought I'd share it with you. I'm looking also for more money. So we're talking, depending on how fast we would like to scale up our e-commerce and build our digital platform with the data, we need about 7 to 10 million for the next 3 years. And you share here really, also in Germany, famous, or German-speaking countries, very famous investors. For example, Michael Motschmann, he is one of the seed investors of BioNTech, as well as the twins of Strüngmann. Helmut Schüssler, he is one of the guys who is, you probably know it, DEPA in MENA in the Arabic states. And now you ask, okay, they have really deep pockets and can invest a lot. And why do I look for anybody else? So our investor thinks that this company is not only an investment case, it's also about a movement. And we are here focused with the German-speaking countries. We can think also to do outside of Europe, for example, in the Arabic states. And I think for a movement and for such a mega trend like longevity, where it's not only about selling supplements, it's also about changing lifestyle. You need really people to speak up for it and to help you to grow. And that is, I'm really happy, Julie, that you gave me here the chance to speak up. And I hope that I really found here in this circle also a few friends for longevity, and that is what I would like to close up. So like a wrap up, what should you do personally for your longevity? Okay. Also, use wearables, also do-it-yourself diagnostics. It's good to know more about your body. Really think about calorie restriction. It makes a lot of sense. Take supplements. It's really important. I see a difference. I can tell you afterwards also a few cases where I've seen it in my personal environment. Improve your sleep. Also if it's very important, the 6 to 8 hours, depending on your scoring. Yeah, work on your mindfulness. It's not all about always traveling and getting engaged everywhere. It's also sometimes about sitting quietly and think about things and maybe doing a meditation. And last but not least, look at me, stay young, be healthy, and enjoy your life. So, and that is maybe the final word. I'm really enjoying my life. I do sport, I exercise, and I also party. And that is one of the reasons why I live in Athens, because the Greeks party really great.
They do. Excellent, wow. You know, you look like the pinnacle of health and everything. That's you're a great ambassador for this, and that was a fantastic presentation. That was deeply helpful, and I like it. It was very concrete in terms of what people can do. So thank you very much for that. Who has questions for Irmi? Bruce, yes, here we go.
We have a company, advanced research company in the microbiome space, and I didn't see anything on probiotics and prebiotics.
Yes, I think microbiome, I didn't want to confuse you, but for me, microbiome testing, and we have also, as you can see in our store, we have a microbiome test. I'm fully convinced about microbiomes, about prebiotics and probiotics, very important. I do it myself. But I just wanted now to take these pillars where we are really more dominant at, but you are totally right, that is very important.
Very good. Another question. Yes, please, Hugo. Yeah.
Are you producing your own supplements?
Yes, we do. We do. Usually we buy it in China because all the active ingredients you get in China, and otherwise if you don't buy them in China, you also don't survive on this very highly competitive market. But we produce them all in Germany.
Are you selling them via iHerb?
Via?
iHerb, you know?
Yeah, okay. No, also we do it usually, we produce it in Germany and we have our own store. We do it via Amazon in our own store, 50%.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, are they natural base, the supplements, or are they vitamins?
So they are usually chemicals, yeah,
Okay.
because we have it also as compounds in our body. Also, this very difficult word, alpha-ketoglutarate, that is a part of our body in our cells. It's a cofactor for the sirtuins, and that is what you can produce as a chemical. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, other questions here? Anything else? Okay, great. Irmi, I think we would love but we're going to speak to you tonight. We're going to have you all tonight. So thank you very much. That was a fantastic presentation. And